of the Urgot and Scion nerfs. Now the Galio going to follow as well as one of these kind of top-tier support options, but not seeing the Jarvan, interestingly enough. Not seeing something like the Thresh prioritized as highly. The Galio, the Ryze, the first picks here.
So I think the Ryze is naturally a flex pick. Remember, it can be moved up towards top and mid. I am surprised that it's being picked so early in the draft, though. Let's not forget the Cassio, a very good pick into the Ryze, which to me suggests that right now they're holding it as an answer to the potential top lane against Cabo. I do think Ryze can do pretty well into the Lissandra, though, but Vitality saying, you know what, we have lots of utility, we have damage, we have engage. Vitality's come very well rounded right now.
And I love this video because you saw him hover the Echo. You saw him hover the Katarina, signature Jiizuke champions, and then almost like begrudgingly, he locks in Lissandra. He's like, I just want to let you know that these are the champions. I will play this for the team, but I'm coming for you. I will look for those big outplays, even if it is a champ like Lissandra. G2, unsurprisingly, though, will lock in the Kalista for themselves. And
so, fun story about that. I don't know if you remember a long time ago where Perkz had a Kalista game, and it was like one of his worst performing champions ever. It was a real throwback, but there was a time where he definitely played Kalista. I think he role swapped with someone, and I think it was like a for-fun game where the game didn't really mean that much, and he was horrendous at the champion, like truly awful. So the fact that he's now picking it up, we'll see if all of his practice in bot lane has helped him refine his Kalista as he goes up against Attila's Lucian.
Oh gosh. The throwbacks to the troll games of G2 past. Of course, we'll have the opportunity to experiment next week if they are able to find a win here, but it will require a win against one of their biggest contenders in Vitality. Once again, taking away some of these blind pickable mid laners like the Syndra. Now, Alistar and Braum banned on the opposite side, as no support has been yet shown by the side of Vitality. We'll see if they have any creative picks up their sleeves.
Oh, they have to. They have to have some.
I mean, Thresh is available, so I feel like
Gragas.
Ooh, Gragas is a hype.
And again, there is a pick that I have seen floating around. So I'm curious, if it comes up, I can talk a little bit more about it, but there are some answers that you can throw against the Galio. And I don't think Thresh is the best one, because I think at level 3 there's a real risk of you getting collapsed upon. But we'll see. Right now the priority pick is for G2. I would like to see their jungler locked in now. They could go for a Rek'Sai, I think would work very nicely, provide that early game impact. I think it's a very Jankos style champion. And I think that he can have a lot of success on it.
Instead, they're going to opt to go for the Lee Sin here, though. Interesting.
That's interesting.
Doesn't... For a long time, Rek'Sai was considered the counter to Lee Sin as well, so it does feel a little bit odd, but of course this is a very new Rek'Sai. But a lot of changes have come since we've seen that matchup.
So to me, this implies that they're expecting the Jarvan to go into the jungle. Lee Sin typically does well in terms of 2v2 and early skirmishing against this champion. But with so much mobility on the side of Vitality, it surprises me. They would look to prioritize this Lee Sin. I feel like the Rek'Sai would have been stronger, but clearly G2 have different priorities. Meanwhile, for Vitality, they're going to shift the Jarvan up towards the top lane. They're going to assume that it's just going to go blind because the Ryze should go mid into the Lissandra. And this means that Vitality do have the Rek'Sai, which will once again go on into Mowgli's hands. And when we saw him play it yesterday, or last week even, a lot of focus went up towards the top side, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that once again.
And look, if there's a Jarvan in the top lane, you have a Rek'Sai in the jungle, that setup is so easy. Flag and drag into the follow-up knockup from Rek'Sai. Very simple gank pathing there, but it's going to be the Trundle now coming out.
That's really cool. I like that a lot. All right, I'll talk about that in a little bit. I will talk about it in a little bit.
Okay, I was going to, but I'll wait. I will save it for you.
Let's see what G2 lock in and round out their composition with. What we need to highlight from Vitality is that they have a lot of engage, they have pretty good early game, and we're going to get the Camille for Wunder in the top lane. Wow. I definitely was not expecting that.
And of course you have the ability to just blank the Cataclysm as it's thrown out with your own ultimate, the Hextech ultimatum, so some interesting interactions there. Jactroll looks like he is committing fully to the Trundle support on the bottom side of the map. I was for about 2 seconds. I was for 2 seconds considering maybe Jarvan support with the Aerie. We saw it that one time in LCK. We always like to bring up with the AP, but not going to opt for that one. So Lucian Trundle, bottom side of the map, up against Kalista Galio. If you'd shown this to me 6 months ago, I would have assumed we were in, I don't know, mid-gold ELO. Now it's obviously the top of the table, so I'm excited to see what these champions look like in the hands of professionals. Galio we've got a little bit of a hint of in the recent weeks. But
we'll talk a lot more about it once we actually get into the game, Dracos, because there's some cool stuff that I want to talk about. But Trundle, I think, can be a very good matchup to Galio. I was very much expecting Vitality to have something prepared. And Wunder, going back to one of his staple champions in Camille, it was something that he found a lot of success with when the champion first joined the league. And I'm very excited to see him going up against Cabochard today. First versus second, Dracos. A lot on the line for both these teams today.
Absolutely. Remember, Vitality trying to secure that spot in the top 2. That is an automatic path to Rotterdam. That is a free loss in a best of 5. You can keep your dreams alive in that pseudo double elimination. And for G2, already locked that top 2. They're looking to lock number 1 right here with 2 games to spare. A ton on the line in this top of the table matchup. And Vedius, as we get into game, crowd ready. Where are we gonna look? Because there's so many spots on the map. Anytime you talk about these 2 teams going toe-to-toe, people are dying in lane, Vedius. This is not a game of slow, controlled macro. This is not an Origin game. This is gonna be all about big individual moments, these 2v2s, these skirmishes, where the junglers go.
Let's get into it quick then. Let's talk about the bot lane, right? Because Trundle into Galio. Some people are probably going to be a little bit surprised. Let's talk a little bit about it. The thing about Galio is he's very lane dominant. He is at his strongest at around level 3, especially when you pair it up with something like a Kalista. You have a lot of kill pressure. As an answer to that, we have a pause. We have a pause. The pause has come out from Jiizuke. We wanted to see blood. We wanted to see action. We're going to be delayed for a little bit. Once we have more information, we will share it. But the thing about Trundle is, every time you try to engage on the Galio, the pillar will come up behind him. Not only will that separate the Kalista from the Galio, but it actually makes it really difficult for the Galio to then get out of that situation. The moment he's committed, he's pretty much stuck with you. And the fun thing about Trundle is he's very good at gluing to you, and when you pair that up with a Lucian, you can just melt through that Galio very, very quickly. So it's effectively a counter tool to the strong lane dominant style that Galio likes to be. On top of that, remember, you can steal away his resistances with the ultimate once you get to that point. And you can make him a very squishy front line, which really G2 is very much lacking with their composition. So I like the pick a lot. I think that it can do very well in lane. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Vitality can do in this 2v2 setup.
And also the setup in late game teamfights. The pillar is just such a huge disruption tool for 2 champions like Ryze, or Ryze who often will struggle to move around those teamfights if there's a pillar in the middle. And Kalista who, if you use it to interrupt some of those jumps, makes it so hard for her to position well in the face of a lot of champions that want to dive, honestly, right onto Perkz' face. We have the Rek'Sai, we have the Jarvan, we have the Lissandra as well. And it's going to be a difficult game to play for some of the squishier members here, unless they can find an early game lead. Now, it is going to be the pillar start already revealed for Jactroll. Of course, important to note that the Aftershock is procced by that pillar as long as he hits an enemy champion.
Yeah, good note there, Dracos. And so we talked a decent amount about the bot side of the map. Want to flip our attention up towards the top side. Cabochard on this Jarvan, we've been seeing a lot in the current meta, against Camille. She was nerfed not too long ago. One of the big nerfs was that her E no longer stuns monsters, which means that jungling with her became difficult. And she kind of just fell out of favor. But what we've noticed with the top lane meta is that with the removal of Aatrox and Urgot, new things have come into fruition. So the safe blind, ooh, hang on, junglers.
Has the health advantage here. Mowgli trying to body block the buffs. He does miss the Sonic Wave there. The Knockup now coming out. The Smite to try to heal up. Jiizuke is on the way. The rest of the team is here. Vitality need to be careful, but Mowgli will make it out to safety. Confident play coming in from Jankos, and it pays off in the end as the flash is burned.
So Mowgli wasn't expecting that. Jankos went immediately from red into the bot Scuttle Crab. Wanted to secure that vision for his mid lane and bot lane. Definitely going to put Mowgli behind. Without that flash, it makes those early ganks that much harder for him. So we'll see where he looks to, but where he looks to path. But surprisingly, or unsurprisingly rather, he started bot, and he's already making his way up towards the top side of the map. So very classic Mowgli style. He wants to try and get Cabochard ahead, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and set up a gank there in the near future.
And another good ward does spot him out. So while they may have already assumed that he would be on the top side, they now have a little bit more information, knowing that he's finishing the Scuttle. Wait to see where he goes. Still, of course, the level 2 for the Rek'Sai, a little bit behind schedule, but the knock under tower, Wunder. Cabo is going to commit to the flash here. The slowdown coming in. So he's going to auto flash forward, not going to take the slow. Wunder flashing back out.
Here
there.
it
It's
comes.
going to be first blood for Cabo. Huge misplay from Wunder to get caught up under the tower, and just beautifully played by the Jarvan on the side of Vitality.
And G2, they had the counter pick. They went for the Camille, knowing that in lane it should have the advantage and it will outscale later on. But if you're going to make those greedy plays, you're going to get punished. Cabochard solidifying himself as one of, if not the best top laner we have in Europe.
Definitely a strong opening statement. Now Mowgli's going to come up. There's no flash available on anyone in this exchange. Wunder now moving forward, though. He doesn't expect Mowgli to be here. Mowgli moving in. That's the chain CC. Now knocked up twice. Wunder running for his life. The empowered bite comes in for Rek'Sai. It's just too much damage.
But here comes Lee Sin.
Oh, there he's going to get out. Well played by Jankos to be where his team needed him. The hookshot wall dive just coming up in time.
The passive shield coming out from Wunder's Camille as well to mitigate some of that burst damage. And the level onto the Camille as well will certainly help. Beautiful stuff from both teams, but as Wunder, you've got to expect this top lane gank from Mowgli. He does it almost every single game. He tries so hard to get Cabochard ahead, and the fact that he didn't respect it almost cost him so much. Fortunately for him, he's able to clear those waves out. He's sitting at a healthy CS advantage.
And Vedius, just 2 patches ago, nothing happened in the top lane, and now everything is happening in the top lane, but the bot lane is where we have to keep our eyes. Jactroll needs to flash safety, ignite, and flash exchange there. Now looking for the follow-up onto Wunder. Wunder, one more auto from Jiizuke, should be able to take it. He's burning down the corrupting potion. Cabochard still alive. Jankos now in trouble. CC coming through. Will the Camille, not gonna hit him in the end. Stepping forward.
Ooh, good sidestep from Jankos.
Looks like he should get taken down. Your corrupting potion, that's gonna be enough. Double kill going in for Jiizuke. Vitality are destroying this early game. Vedius, so many kills are going in their favor.
Yeah, and they should have seen Jiizuke roam towards the top side as well. Overconfidence has been something that we talk a lot about with regards to G2, and Jankos and Wunder, they overstayed their welcome. Jiizuke now sitting at 2-0-0, 5 minutes into the game, and Mowgli, he's not slowing down.
Now moving to the bottom side, no mana and Perkz from Mikyx's pool. Mickey now going to try to run for his life. The heal has come down. Now moving forward, this one he got the knockup, but that's still the kill. The Rek'Sai does so much damage in this early game.
And Vitality is just steamrolling through G2. They built up such a huge early lead, and let's have a look at this top lane play. So they actually have no vision of the river, but Lissandra is missing. They think that even in a 2 versus 2, they can come out ahead because the Lee Sin is there, but Cabochard, he just sidesteps a lot of the damage. You could also make the argument that Jankos misses his Q. Regardless, Jiizuke is there for the cleanup, and Vitality are finding kills all across the board. G2 are continuing to blunder.
And Vedius, 5 minutes into the game, we already almost have that 2K gold lead, 1.5. It'll be hard to make it any more explosive. And the bot lane, while it was winning in CS moments ago after that play, Attila playing a lot more confidently. Everything going right for Vitality. Cabo as well with the level advantage. Things just keep getting better for this team. And if you're G2 now, what is your course of play here? Because you've tried to respond with Jankos making these plays of his own. I guess maybe you just try again.
You're trying again. You got to try and get Wunder ahead. Cabochard now level 6 has the flag.
Lissandra's here too, though. Suddenly Jankos realizes he's been off more than he can chew. The point and the click, the CC, it's too much. Cabo gets another kill.
And G2, they're being read like a book right now. Vitality are there to respond to every single play that they make. 2,000 gold is the advantage that Vitality have built up, and G2, the team that was dominant for the first half of the split. They lost 3 games. The argument could be made that they just played overconfident. If they cleaned up their play, they'd be able to challenge and still sit atop Europe. But Vitality demonstrating that, you know what, they can be matched. They can be outpaced in the early game, and G2 perhaps not as hot as they once were.
And there's so many games, Vedius, where Cabo builds advantages for himself, but this game, after that first kill, everyone on Vitality has seen the path to victory, and it begins and ends now with Cabochard 2-0-2. Yes, he only has 40 CS to his name, but a 450 gold bounty tells you the story of this top lane. And look, Jarvan, when he's behind, can have some value. You have some CC, you have a Cataclysm there. Camille is a walking ult and stun bot, and that is it when this champion is behind.
She's a duelist, man. Her whole role and responsibility is to outduel you, and right now she's sitting at 2 pointy swords versus the Cleaver. I say Cleaver, D. It's called Tiamat.
It cleaves,
but
though,
it cleaves.
Which is weird. The Black Cleaver doesn't cleave, but it's...
Anyway.
Yeah, League of Legends, guys.
Tiamat is such a big pickup for Jarvan. It gives you so much wave clear. It makes it so much harder for Wunder to be able to trade. And Cabochard isn't even pushing the wave in. He's down in CS, but he doesn't care.
He says, Jankos, come up and help your top laner break this freeze, bud. I dare you. Give me the 2v1.
Vitality looking so good. Now, the thing for Vitality is that while Jiizuke has been roaming around the map, Caps has been steadily farming. You gotta remember, in a side lane, he can still be relevant on this rise. And the bot lane has actually gone pretty well for G2. Even though they did lose their support in an early gank, they still have very easy setup for ganks later on.
Potential here. The ulti's already come out from the tunnel. They're going to look to set their sights on Jactroll. Kick back under the tower, but is going to be body blocked there by Mikyx and that CC. Can they kill Jactroll? Jankos desperate for it. He's not going to be able to find it. Now has to back away. Mowgli ready to go in a moment.
Word.
Not going to take it.
The second time now, Jankos attempts a gank and Vitality walk away with a sliver of HP. The stats that Jactroll stole, I'm not sure who he stole them from, but definitely helped out. He walks away with his life. Now it is Vitality that are looking to siege onto this tower. Low health balls across the board for G2. And a play's being happening topside right now.
Meanwhile, we're going to have to keep our eyes on both, though. Mikyx now going to be in trouble. Looks like they're going to look for more. Attila's going to start to try to farm these ones up. Rek'Sai goes in and now comes out. It will be the kill traded back, but the shutdown comes in on the top side as well. Wunder now running for his life as Jiizuke was taken out. Caps looking to bring up the kill. The sidestep here on the flag and drag, but still Carvalho managed to take him down. Caps now looking for the play. Blue buff is there. Level 8 Cabochard stepping forward. Conqueror fully stacked, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The sustained damage from Caps is too much. He just looks to clear the wave, and G2, just like that, are right back with some kills.
But it doesn't matter, Dracos, because Vitality are just snowballing this game right now. 2 kills are in the back pocket of Attila. He's got himself a 500 gold bounty after that dive in the bot lane, so went so heavily in the favor of Vitality. So this is where the play starts. You can see the ultimate comes out from Jactroll, stealing away the stats from actually Kalista in this situation. Not that much value, but Jactroll proving how tanky this Trundle is regardless in the early game. Not quite enough damage. And he ends up walking away with his life. Now Mowgli heading up back towards the top side. There's no laner there yet, Mowgli. You've got to wait. Clear out your jungle, then head up towards top side.
And Vedius, you know, when I look at what's going wrong for G2, well, that fantastic ward there on the top side will probably be there for at least another 10 minutes.
They're just messing up, man.
A lot of small mechanical misplays. We saw the missed Sonic Wave on Jankos' very clever early jungle pathing. We saw the missed Sonic Wave on the top side as well. And in that last fight, we saw Lee Sin kick into Galio taunt, denying the extra range on the knockback from the Lee Sin kick. And those 3 plays go differently. This is a completely different game. Those Sonic Waves connects, we're looking at a 2-0 Jankos instead of a 0-3 Jankos.
Could very well be Dracos. And this is the thing. Game of inches is League of Legends. And right now, this game means so much for both these teams. Vitality sitting at 10 and 5, G2 sitting at 12 and 3. G2 could lock a spot in first place by getting this win. No team could catch them up, but Vitality, they can keep the dream of securing first place at the end of the regular season alive. Last split, they finished in second. I believe it was behind Fnatic, and then they ended up being forced into the third place match, where they ended up beating Misfits. Did allow them to qualify for Worlds, but they said at the beginning of the year they were going to be better. I believe it was Yamato, Attila. In fact, the entire squad said there's no way that we're not in this split's final.
And for a while, it didn't look great, Vedius. I'll be honest. There were a lot of games where we were wondering, is this team going to be anything different from the last editions of Vitality, where they have these really great, really explosive games, and these ones that are a struggle to watch sometimes, but it has been different. They have been getting better, and Jiizuke now has to be careful, because while the rest of the map is definitely doing fantastically, Caps is still a big threat. Jactroll, though, here to follow up, and already we're seeing the Herald being used.
Look at this. Beautiful stuff from Vitality. They pushed out bot, they brought Cabochard down, all 5 members are mid with the Rift out, and there's nothing that G2 can do about it. That tower's gonna go down, first of the game for Vitality.
And Vedius, we have watched 2 incredibly one-sided early games where massive gold leads have been built, and we thought, hey, this game's going to be different. These 2 teams, they're going to go toe-to-toe, and maybe if you were a G2 fan, you thought, nah, G2 are going to be the team to find that massive early game gold lead. But Vitality not going to accept that version of the script, looking to rewrite it right here with a fantastic lead, a massive lead. 3K up, 12 minutes into the game, already a tower down.
You know, and you can make the argument, right? Sure, G2, they've locked top 2. Maybe they don't care about first place. Maybe they want to try new strategies. Maybe they want to take more gambles. But regardless of what their mentality is, they are getting outplayed individually. One of the things that we said throughout the entirety of the split was that G2 cannot be matched on an individual level. Yet over the last few weeks, teams have been saying no to that. They have caught up to G2. They can challenge the best players in our league and say that, you know what? First place has not been decided just yet.
And it's a difficult road for G2. People start to lose faith. It was kind of unquestioned, I think, for the first 5 weeks. Oh, this team, we're looking at Griffin.
Yep.
Not looking at anybody else. That was the way it was. And then as they started to fall, people were ready to watch them do it. maybe overconfident themselves, but Caps now stepping forward, still not afraid despite the deficit his team has been put in. Maybe that's a good thing for the team at this stage. Continues to threaten on Jiizuke, and obviously in the 1v1, Rise is a much stronger champion overall. They're trying to break down these towers in the mid lane, get a little bit more gold. It does mean that they're going to lose one on the bottom side, and Attila is just going to get stronger and stronger. 2-0-1, 10 CS lead, and a solo tower plate to follow up.
2 towers down before the plates drop. That is massive for Vitality. I gotta have a look at how much gold this Lucian is on right now. 6.3k, a whole 1k up on his counterpart. Same for the top lane. Attila and Cabochard coming up clutch right now. Jankos failed to have any kind of early game impact on this Lee Sin so far. And now next steps is kind of what we're looking at for both these teams. And G2, they kind of want to split the mat up. They want to try and have Cap sit off on the side lane, use the fact that he's had a healthy laning phase to try and hold Cabochard, not being too much of a terror. And the fact that Perkz has been doing pretty well on this Kalista, even matching the Blade of the Ruin King, is still a positive. But G2 want to avoid fighting at all costs, whereas Vitality want to force G2 to group. They are so much stronger right now, and if they can force these 4v4, 5v5s, they're going to come out on top.
In Vedius now, I think we look at some items on G2, like what's going to be the next kind of big thing that's important to come in. Of course, we see Cav on the top side, probably a Black Cleaver going to shine through for him. Interestingly, though, I want to shift attention to the itemization of Attila. So we have Pickaxe, we have Caulfield's Warhammer, and this to me feels like he's feeling so confident in his lead that we could see something as bold as, I don't know, Death Stance, more lifesteal. A lot of champions that want to dive onto him. Could see something new, something unique, because we're not seeing the Black Cleaver rush that is so often second in the back pocket Lucian.
I'm trying to recall the build path right now for Essence Reaver. You still build BF Sword with that, right?
I think it's BF Caulfield.
That's what I thought. So I wonder if he just decided to go for the Pickaxe because he's going to use it later for maybe an Infinity Edge third, or maybe even build it for Last Whisper if he feels inclined. I think it'd be very early to do that, but to me, we've seen a decent number of Essence Reaver second, so it wouldn't surprise me if he heads in that direction. Then you have the slide and guide Lucian, the guy that's always, he has so much extra mobility once he uses that ultimate as well. You also have the Luden's Echo rush for Jiizuke, and you can already see with the tome being complete, he's going to get that on his second. We don't have time for that because Wunder, ooh, good power.
Now moving back, Wunder has to run for his life, but I think that's going to be all they wrote. Nope, now pulling back. Does use the ultimate to try to make it away. Mowgli now could be in trouble as Caps will look to chase him down. Ulti has already been used. The flash forward. Attila now here off to the side. He is going to try to delete through Caps' health bar. Coling comes out. Mickey going to block a little bit here. Have to be careful though. Jiizuke is now coming in. Locked up under tower. Mickey running for his life. The taunt does connect. Attila cleanses, but it might be a little bit late. He's still alive. Looking for the Prey Seeker. Are going to be able to take him down in the end. Jiizuke will find that kill. Jankos trying to get something back in the mid lane. Cabo ready for the chase though. Does not find the knockup. Gets kicked right back over the wall. Jankos says, no thank you, sir.
But let's just appreciate 15 minutes into the game. Vitality are diving G2 underneath their tier 3 towers. This team is so confident against the #1 team in our league right now, and they are making them look weak.
But it is not the cleanest game. Towers are being traded back. Pressure is being traded back. G2 are still finding some things as Perkz is able to break that bottom tower and confirm now Vedius, the Essence Reaver, of course, does build out of Pickaxe.
There we go.
Crit itemization, man. How many times I got
For some reason, I was convinced there was a BF Sword in there.
No, it was BF Sword's Caulfield's Sapphire Crystal, and they changed it to Pickaxe Caulfield's Cloak of Agility.
Yeah, but we were still right on the money. Essence Reaver was the focus for him, and now he's going to be working, and now he's very strong at these 2 items.
I want to see
very confident.
Both the slide and the glide, Vedius. You have promised me such, and I would like to see it.
How does one do? Is not one in the same?
Yes. I would like a double dose of either slide or glide.
I see. Very well.
I guess is what I'm trying to say.
That's your responsibility in the team fights. I will expect you. You're going to have to keep up with the speed at which he is moving, which I'm sure you will have no problem doing, Mr. Dracos. Now we see Vitality start to choke out G2 Esports. The vision is being invested into the enemy jungle. A lot of it is towards the top side of the map. Baron is not going to be spawning for a little while, but Vitality's only goal is to attack Wunder, continue to put pressure on him, because while G2 do have Caps and he can hold his own against the likes of Cabochards, the same cannot be said for Wunder, who's yet to even complete his first item.
And these are not champions on the side of G2 that lose gracefully. Once again, Wunder on this Camille, not a champion that wants to fall behind. It's a similar story for Lee Sin. Wunder is going to be able to make it out. Buffer there on the hookshot wall dive does mean even if a little bit of CC does connect, Camille will still get pulled to that wall.
You can see Vitality doing the... I might not have time for that. G2 going for the fight.
Now I'm going to try to maybe get onto Jactroll, but has already used it. The taunt now coming in. Caps on the backside. Attila has to be careful. Where's the slide and glide? Needs to dash back, but Caps just has enough damage. Locks him down, points and clicks him, shuts him down. No movement for you, buddy. Take off those dancing shoes. Caps finds the kill. That's the shutdown as well, but Jiizuke now looking to fire back. Self-ult, trying to set up for the rest of the team. Mowgli off to the side. Now moving in, though. Jactroll taken down. Cabochard is nowhere to be found, and G2 have found their opportunity to get back into this game. Mowgli now running for his life. Has the tunnel network to make it out to safety, but G2 are out for blood. Wunder continues the chase. Now the recall coming in. Cabo could be next on the menu, though. Could be in trouble.
Oh, Wunder once more. He is not going to get the slow. He doesn't have the stun available. And G2, they find their first successful fight of the game. 3 kills go on to Vitality. Shutdown gold does get picked up for a number of G2 members. You can start to see the gold coming in. Caps actually going to complete the Rylai's second as well. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. But let's have a look at how this team fight plays out for the side of G2. So we start off seeing that Vitality actually is pretty damaged initially. Jankos comes in from the flank from behind. And while he doesn't land the Q onto Jactroll, the fact that stopwatch comes through actually gets in the way of, allows Mikyx to dive onto the backline, leaving Attila exposed. He doesn't have his flash due to using it earlier on, and that gives Caps free entryway onto the backline. Now Jiizuke, it looks like he's just going to clean up the fight here, but the shield plus the heal from Perkz and Jankos is enough to find that kill. And then when you think Jankos is finally going to die, no, Wunder finally shows up and helps this jungler out to turn that into another kill. So in this situation, it was just Vitality. They tried to push multiple lanes. They didn't have Cabochard available to join the fight. I believe his teleport was not available. And that meant that G2 could turn this into a 5 versus 4 and find themselves a big team fight win.
And you saw the way Jiizuke set that play up with the self-ult, with 3 members kind of stacked on top of him. If Cabo had been there, there's no doubt in my mind that would have been a triple kill, but just very well played by the members of G2 to find that opening when Jarvan, the most fed member of the team hands down, was not around, and exploit it.
And now we have a game on our hands, Dan and Dragos. The gold gap is 4,000. Vitality still heavily in control, but items are being completed. Caps going for what I recently learned is known as the Doinby build. Going for things like the Rylai's provides a little bit more utility onto the Rise because it's so easy to get your orb to spread around in the team fights. You actually provide a surprising amount of CC when everyone is grouped up and when you're in these 5v5 scenarios, mainly relying on players like Perkz to be the damage dealer, but also on Rise, you don't need damage AP to do a lot of damage, so I'm likely going to find out.
Caps finishing in trouble here, uses the cleanse, but immediately gets locked up again. Here comes the Rek'Sai ultimate. Caps trying to move his way out of it, and he's still alive. These are the clutch plays you want from Caps, because Mowgli is next on the menu. He's now taken down. Jiizuke has to run for his life. Flash available for Caps. He's waiting for it. He's moving. Jiizuke going to throw the claw back. Mikyx getting lower and lower. They're taking their time on this one. They see the opportunity. They're going to take him down as well. Caps on a rampage. What a beautiful series of play.
And when the chips are down, it is Caps that comes up clutch. He was the one having a healthy laning phase. He, alongside Perkz, were the still remaining carries available to turn this game around for G2 and Vitality. They tried to make a play towards the bot side. They think they can kill Caps, but this is the power of that Rylai's plus completed Archangel staff. You have the shield, you have all that extra HP, you can make sure that they cannot escape from you with all that extra utility, but if Mikyx didn't show up, that might have ended in disaster. Regardless, Vitality. All right, good. Don't start the Baron. They don't need to right now. Caps is very strong. Don't take that risk.
And we wondered when we didn't see the Jarvan as the response in the early draft, a pick that Vitality so much loved, and we saw instead the Galio on the Rise, how this would work out, and it's working out fantastically. Caps, an individual player, making a huge impact despite what was his team's deficit. And of course the Galio as well, just everywhere it's needed to be in these plays, courtesy of that ultimate. Now the issue, Bedius, is that while one team does have a Kalista, the other team does in fact have 2 mountains. Gonna make it much easier to contest this Baron, even though it is 22 minutes. G2 do have to give a lot of respect over to the potential for Vitality just to rush this one down.
Right now their focus is on just getting deep vision up towards the top side of the map. You can see they pushed in mid. They have Jiizuke on the bot side of the map because he does have his teleport available. He's going to clear that one out, lightly walk up and join the rest of his team. You can see right now G2's vision is scattered. They've got a lot of control wards in their inventory, but in order to get that, they need to gain priority in these lanes. And what's really stopping them right now is the fact that a lot of outer towers are still up and available for Vitality. That mid tier 1, that top tier 1, the fact that those are still up means it's very difficult for G2 to actually get into the enemy jungle, so they can never gain control over the river. That means that with no control of the river, it's very hard for them to actually challenge this Baron, so they're constantly walking into darkness.
Difficult spot. Luckily, they do have the luxury of red side, though. Easier to potentially jump into that pit for this steal, but Mowgli diligent in making sure none of that vision can exist. They, of course, spot Jiizuke on the bottom side, Cabochard as well. This does free them up to at least alleviate some of the vision in their own jungle. They control their territory, but nothing else. None of the neutral territory of the river, as you mentioned, Vedius. But they do need to get a little bit of vision down here to stop this one from happening. The control ward in the pit, definitely going to be a pain. They have one of their own. The Vitality will need to take down if they want to contest here. But for now, Jiizuke seems comfortable to keep moving down to the bottom side of the map. He, of course, has the TP, whereas Rise does not.
3 items now finished for Attila. He has picked himself up that Phantom Dancer. This was recently changed, and it does give you a small shield now should you drop to a certain percentage of health. So the survivability on Attila has increased. In the event that he finds Caps looking for a fight, he'll at least have that extra bit of survivability. Now, Vitality moving into the Baron pit. Please don't start it.
They've started
it. All right, here we go. Baron play, classic Vitality. Let's see if they get the fight they want.
They've got Mountain moving in for a bit more. Rise on the bottom side of the map to see an opportunity to get this one started. They're trying to delete Cabochard before the fight can even start. They delete the most ever. Now Mowgli's in the middle of no one. Everyone is going to drop now. Jactroll and Attila versus the world. Attila desperately trying to slide and glide his way out to safety, but now they're moving in. Attila cannot catch a break. G2 are collapsing in an instant. The Sonic Wave goes wide. They won't find anything else, but Vitality are routed in the pit.
And G2 once again obliterate Vitality in the fight. Wunder once more. He finds the kill. Wunder getting payback after the early game that was in disaster, now sitting at 4-4. G2, after being at such a massive deficit, prove to the world that they still sit on top. They will get themselves the Baron and Vitality. And looking in dire straits.
God, Vedius, the confidence coming in from Vitality, the overconfidence now as we see the play fall out. The bravado here.
So Vitality are just using this Baron to start a fight. So they then turn onto the jungler, they want to execute him, but unfortunately the ultimate from the Rek'Sai side comes out way too late, and Cabochard dies before the rest of the team can even follow up. This ends up being a 2 versus 4 to kick off the fight, which G2 are very easy to win. Then the teleport comes through from Lissandra. He ends up just TPing into the warm embrace of Caps, who says, "Hey Jiizuke, how you been? Why don't you go take a nap on the fountain while the rest of my team clean up?" And the flash stun comes in from Wunder. He executes Attila, and he finds himself comfortably back into the game.
Man trying to glide his way out of that play. Don't know if it's going to happen. Suddenly it's a very, very even game, or would be. But G2 now have a Baron buff, and that's going to make things much easier. Because you see 5-1 in towers, there's all this standing gold waiting to be picked up. And Jankos is sitting in Fog of War, waiting to move in and steal this one. Not going to go for it in the end, decides better of it. Of course, Vitality's still strong in the fights, just not as strong in the lane pressure.
You'll see now, G2 will split up the map. Remember, we were talking about next steps for G2. They want to try and keep Vitality split apart. Fortunately for them, they managed to find a lot of these small skirmishes. Vitality never got to utilize this full 4v4 or 5v5 situation, and that's resulted in what this massive gold drop has been. But you've got to focus on Caps. He was the man that made it happen. He made the outplays. He turned these fights in favor of G2, and this is the star power that this man brings to any team that he plays on.
Just fantastic. Living up to expectations there. Looking good across the board for G2. When we look back at that gold graph, I mean, it's like when your parents say, "Hey, if your friends jump off a cliff, would you do it?" Vitality answered yes. That cliff is that massive gold difference, Vedius. 2K now for G2, coming out of what was a look. It looked like it was an impossible deficit to come back from.
Yeah,
I was convinced this game was completely over. Now they have this 3K Shell V power play, and I think it gets a lot easier from here is the reality, because Caps just keeps getting stronger. Now, you talked about the Doinby build. We don't see the Righteous Glory here.
No,
Instead, we see the Death Cap.
We don't see the Leandries either. So Caps just going to go for the Rylai's for that extra bit of utility. Very cost-efficient item as well. And now Wunder's at a strong enough point where he can hold anyone he likes in a side lane. So let's not forget that at the beginning of the game, Wunder was 2,000 gold behind Cabochard. Now he is ahead, ever so slightly, but he is in fact ahead. And the fact that Wunder's found a way back into this game speaks volumes to the experience that G2 do possess, and that's why you can never afford to underestimate them as well. And remember, a win here will secure them first place at the end of the regular split.
Cabo, though, maybe looking to find a play. Has to be careful, though. Caps, once again, has the cleanse. Has a lot of the tanky stats. Now going to look to find the fight. Caps flashing out to safety. Looks like they will just retreat, but that is the Hourglass now used from Cabo. Wunder continuing to push in on the top side. Pressure across all 3 lanes. Kalista and Galio in the mid lane as well. 1 tower at least will fall. Wunder Going to shred through these towers with the power of that Trinity Force and the empowered Precision Protocol procs on it. Jankos now going to move in. Vitality are being split up across the map. Jankos looks like he will be the sacrificial lamb. Caps now retreating to try to offer him a path out to safety, but Mowgli may have overstayed and may give up his life. But Jactroll now stepping forward with the extra resistance that he has from the Subjugate. He'll stop him, pillar behind him, trying to finish Caps off now, but in comes Mikyx, ready to save the day. Coling is going to fully connect onto Caps. Attila doesn't find his kill back. Now he's trying to slide and glide. Mikyx may be next on the menu, and it's all too easy. Vitality find it, but at what cost? Meanwhile, in the top lane, Wunder continues his assault on the Vitality base, and he will break at least one tower as Jiizuke comes to contest.
So really good punish there from the side of Vitality, but they lose a lot of their base in exchange. They will at the very least keep G2 from securing any inhibitors, but very close regardless. This just goes to show that Jankos not having the best game of his career, definitely been punished for overstepping his boundaries. And in that 1 versus 4, unlike Alphari, Caps cannot survive. So he used the round walk to try and help Jankos. Unfortunately, he can't quite do anything to jump into the pit. Does not have his flash available. And in this situation, Caps, remember that he doesn't have his flash because he got burned earlier, so they can go for this chase. Galio is available to use the ultimate. Caps still doesn't throw out the shield from his staffs until too late. Unfortunately, there's more than enough damage coming out from Attila and Mowgli to help secure that one. So Vitality find themselves 3 quick kills while losing 2 tier 3 turrets in their base.
And the gold may still be so close, but obviously the map very much in favor of G2. The thing I love about that play is the use of the pillar. You can see Mikyx desperate. He's like, I want to jump in front of this Coling. I know if I can keep you alive that maybe we can turn this play. But the pillar stops him from doing so. And we can see the power of the Lucian on 3.5 items now is going to continue to be a very big duelist threat as we move later into the game. It's all going to come down to if he can dodge any of those Rise skill shots and if he can cleanse the Rune Prison at the right time. But on the opposite side, it's a similar story for Perkz. 3 items and a QSS as well as the stopwatch. So a lot of survivability on the respective AD carries. Cabo now going to start his assault on the bottom side of the map. Still a relatively strong Jarvan. The GA, though, pretty good, but honestly, in a lot of these situations, I would sincerely prefer the Sterix, at least in the individual 1v1.
Can you remind me, Dracos? So I know that building, what do you call it? The Ardent Sensor on Trundle is not that uncommon. It's actually something that we see a decent amount because he does have the ability to shield, but by running the Aftershock, he doesn't actually provide the shield, right? Because I feel like it used to be run with the Guardian, and then you can
I'm going to be honest with you, Vedius, right now. Audience, I'm going to let you into a little caster secret. I have a computer in front of me and I'm going to Google that because I don't know. That's like
because I'm trying to think.
With Aerie,
it's heal or shield, right? So, but with Aftershock, that, as far as I recall, doesn't provide a shield. So I'm curious as to how Jactroll actually procs the Ardent Sensor in this situation.
From the what? Okay, team.
Anyway, the audience knows. They will inform us in a second, but right now we've got to talk. The Targon's Brace, of course. Thank you, audience.
You're way better than Law Wiki.
So much better than we are. Thank you, guys.
I'm going to be honest.
So happy to have you here.
Obviously, you know, casters, we should know everything about the game.
It's crowdsourcing.
But we miss things. And I appreciate those of you who cut us the slack, or in this case, shouted us till we get it. Shout outs to you, audience. You're wonderful.
Now the Baron has been started.
More important.
Very tense. Vitality, they're committing to this.
Jankos going to try to move in, but this is very dangerous territory if he wants to try to steal this one. They're immediately deleted. 3K dropping. That is the Baron moving over to Vitality. Now the fight is starting to turn. Caps is immediately deleted. The Coling over the wall. He is taken down. Vitality moving forward for more. Perkz now on the retreat. This might just be the end of the game. Vedius. Perkz running for his life, but he just can't do it. The shutdown coming through in the face of righteous anger of Yamato Cannon. There in the picture-in-picture is Vitality barrel down the mid lane.
And the conviction of Vitality to commit to that objective. They saw G2 there. They were not afraid. They found the successful 5v5, and now they're grouping up. They're looking for the end, Dracos.
Vitality barreling down. Wunder and Mikyx versus 5 strong on the side of Vitality. Looks like the game is set to end. Wunder desperate to get this out. They're trying to shut down Attila. Maybe they can get a bit more time. They're buying more time. The knockup coming in. Wunder still alive. Jiizuke on the retreat. Jactroll showing currently low. Cabo may try to save the day, but here comes Jankos as well. His chance to redeem this game's performance. They leap in. They may want to extend the play. The pillar is going to deny them from getting anything else, but G2 have held on.
And he's still going. Wonder he's still on the chase. Look at the respawn timers coming through. Caps and Perkz going to be alive soon. No teleport available on Caps, though.
No mana on Jiizuke either. Mikyx chasing forward.
He's still going.
Slow down coming out. Ulti on Wunder still a long way away. Hookshot wall dive long enough to cool down. Jiizuke on the retreat.
He's running away right now. Jankos doing what he can. He has the flash. Not going to choose to use it, but unbelievable. 2 versus 5. G2 keeps their base alive. Jiizuke likely going to lose his life as well. Oh. Vitality just cannot catch a break as G2 are unrelenting in giving this game away.
And Betty, this is what you want to see when you look at names like this in a game, is these blow-for-blow battles, these back-and-forth fights. No more of G2 just stomping a game or Vitality just rolling over someone in the early game. Back and forth is the name of the game at the top of the table. It is so close in this game. G2 now trying to find more purchase in the enemy base. Baron buff still backing up Vitality, will only help them hold on.
Going up against the Baron buff Vitality right now. G2, they have all 5 members of their alive. And they're now sending 3 towards the bot side of the map. They've got to respect the potential flank engage from Cabochard. He has to teleport up. And G2 have set up no real vision across the map right now. So they're going to disengage, go back towards the mat in Drake. And Dracos, this game is now starting to deliver. Both teams have taken swings at one another. Vitality had the early control. G2 were able to find the bounce back, but with a convincing Baron, Vitality looked to end the game. But some clutch plays from Wunder and Mikyx keep the hopes of G2 alive. The Baron buff runs out in about 50 seconds. This game could still go either way. G2, they have the strongest side lane, they have the strongest skirmishing, but in the straight-up 5v5, Vitality is just stronger.
Vedius, the gold is, it might as well be even. 1K difference at 35 minutes in the game, it just does not matter. The Drakes, of course, it will make it easier for Vitality to push in and try to burst that one down, but they are going up against Kalista, so G2's Drake is just as threatening, especially as they have gotten their first mount into the game. I mean, we check in on items and more are coming out. You see GAs on the top side of the map for Vitality. That's Mowgli and Cabochard. That will be important in the fights to come. Camille getting one herself is huge as well. Even Jankos now starting to catch up, getting closer to a GA of his own, despite being put so far down in this game. And Caps, he does not need the Righteous Glory once again. He does not need the Leandries. He wants the Spellbinder. He is going to find that one combo on one member.
Man. It also makes you speedy. On top of the phase rush, I think it complements quite nicely. Regardless, he's forced to sit behind the river right now. He can't really approach. Vitality still have control over the map. They're going to secure an easy tier 2 towards the bot side as Vitality continue to extend the vision. The audience today has been fantastic, and we have had a beautiful Game 5 to help support them. Thank you guys for having such a great game with
fantastic.
us. Thank you for all the Targon's information. Now it's Redemption. Redemption
now proxy. We got that one. We're smart, I swear. Of course, shout out to, the Origin fans, the Buffs coming in from Denmark, as well as the Portuguese fans, as well as the regulars. Yeah, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you. It makes it so much easier, speaking on behalf of play-by-plays, to shout at the top of your lungs when you've got people doing it too in the background.
Now the Baron spawns in 1:30, guys. That's going to be the big timer that you want to keep your eyes on, as both these teams will look to want to secure it. Level 18s are being completed across the board. The big solo laners for G2. Jiizuke actually only sitting at 16 right now. Definitely about to get flame horizoned by Caps, who spent the majority of the game sitting in a side lane, finding a lot of the kills for G2. Perkz getting close to that level as well. But level 18 is a really big point, because once everyone reaches that point, that's kind of where gold doesn't matter anymore. It's not really a factor. Everyone is at the point where you can't really get any stronger, and it all comes down to execution. And what better way to end Game 5 of Week 8, a spot for first place on the line, than simply really good League of Legends players playing the best possible League of Legends against one another. Fantastic.
And taking the risks that make these games feel alive. Not playing slow, looking for the opportunities, taking the risks, looking for the individual one-on-one outplays. And Vedius, we're looking at arenas coming through. As the inhibitors start to respawn, as items start to come through, Baron at 23 seconds, Elder Drake in 2. Both of those pits are going to be massive points of contention. Huge opportunities for these teams to full-on 5v5, and as you said, it's going to be all about that execution.
And Vitality, they're primed and ready for the team fight. Triple GA coming out. Zhonya's completed as well for Jiizuke. G2, even if they kill Vitality once, they're just going to come back, and you're going to have to kill them again. The resilience of Vitality has to be respected. Deserving of the current second place standings. Perkz right now a very strong Kalista. Currently sitting on the stopwatch, has his own survivability. But now we're just looking at that Baron. Vision is in favor of G2. They've gained the mid priority. They haven't sweeped anything out yet, so there are a couple of wards littered across the river. And it looks like G2 will be forced to disengage. These controls that they've just set down, they're going to lose very quickly. But look at the bot side of the map. You can see Caps hanging around. Doesn't have the teleport, but both Jiizuke and Cabochard do. So if he makes his presence known, Vitality can immediately force him. Fun fact, that's exactly what they're going to do.
They have the double mountain. They can tear through this one so quickly. 10k and dropping. Perkz can't get in there to get enough spears.
Look at the bot lane, though, and inhibitor drops.
It's going to be huge. Caps is now moved down to the bot lane. Mikyx, they're trying to buy more time. Wunder and Caps, they're moving around the outside, but it's going to come down to who gets the Baron, but it's Rek'Sai who takes it to the end. Cabo and Jiizuke are now empowered. They can look to try to take this fight, but they're moving in. They're trying to use the burst damage there. Perkz, though, trying to go through the health bar of Attila. Jankos now coming to try to peel him off. It's all on Attila to try to find this one out. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the string, we do see the inhibitor going down. Resurrection coming in. That's going to be Attila's death sentence as he immediately gets knocked up and taken out. G2 taking the edge despite losing the Baron.
Vitality secure the Baron and will keep their base alive, but G2, they do not relent on the pressure. They find two very big kills onto both Attila and Jactroll. They secure 2 inhibitors as well, and now look at those death timers. 40 seconds on Attila. G2 are grouping up in mid. Can Vitality hold the line?
G2 have made the impossible hold. Can Vitality do it as well? The TP now coming in to bolster their efforts.
Round warping the minions behind the line.
They want to take it. Vitality need to find the fight here. Cabo immediately jumping into the whole team. Jankos keeping his focus there. Wunder on the backside. G2 moving in, looking to take down the Rek'Sai. He goes in. He's dead. He's dead. That could be it. Cabo gonna fall. The GA coming through, but that's just lining them up for the setup, lining them up for the final kill. 14 seconds on Attila. Mowgli now running for his life. Uses the tunnel to make it out to safety, but now they've got the hunt for blood. They're taking down Mowgli. No one will survive in this game. G2 are determined.
Attila about to respawn. Cabochard still alive. Can Vitality do it? Everything falls on Attila.
Flash forward. Everyone is in the pit. They're fighting for their lives. Attila's still alive on the backside. The Troll coming out. The tower is still alive. The Nexus is not exposed. Perkz dead ridiculous. Attila will not forgive, but G2 are here to find the win. G2 lock first place.
Beautiful game to round out week 8. Such a clutch team fight at the very end. Oh my word. 18 kills to 21. 78k gold to 77. That was some crazy League of Legends. But G2, they come out on top and they do secure first place in the LEC Spring Split regular season.
A fantastic game. But yes, I have to just echo it, absolutely delivering. It's our final game of week 8.
I'm surprised you can still breathe, man. You're losing it at the end.
I'm literally shaking. I had to mute myself. I'm literally shaking. It's incredible. These team fights, it's impossible to track the minutia of mechanical decisions that went into making some of these wonderful outplays possible. And a game balanced on the knife edge. Even when Vitality are at a man disadvantage, facing down 5 members, leaping to kill them, to take their Nexus. Still, we see a close, contentious fight.
I do hope we get a replay of that final team fight. It was absolutely insane. Both teams just playing to the max. Just goes to show Vitality, they can challenge the best. There were just a couple of misplays there. That game was firmly in their grasp. They came so close so many times.
And I was worried for playoffs. When we saw G2 at the start of the split, I was like, oh man, they're gonna like 6-0 and it's gonna be... Now I'm like, give me 5 games of that. Like, let me see what OG can do too. Like, let's get this go. I mean, it's so hard. I know we have a week left, but I just want it to be playoffs already, man. Lock it in. I don't care. Let's get it going.
Oh man. Oh, such a great game. Oh, so exciting. Love that game. Loved it so much. Just individual stepping up.
Like, let's take so much has happened. It's almost impossible to remember how that game. So remember that Vitality started that game with such a huge lead. That Wunder was not a champion for the first like 20 minutes of that game. Yeah. Camille was utterly useless. But the fact that they came back and that Wunder ended up being the deciding factor to hold on to the Nexus, to leap straight past every other Vitality member and kick Attila in the face, that was crazy.
I mean, a part of me kind of thinks that at the end of the day, it was like, because it's hard, right? Because Caps is what ultimately kept G2 in the game for the vast majority of it. It was Caps that even allowed them to have that comeback at all. But then the actual moment that decided the fact that G2 wouldn't lose was Wunder and Mikyx together. So maybe it's Mikyx. Maybe Mikyx's the standout hero. The ultimates all over the board.
I'm not going to weigh in this time around, audience. As we close out the week, there's, of course, only really one question remaining, and that is, who is the key player of the game for G2 versus Vitality? Is it Caps? Is it Perkz? Is it Mikyx? You can head over to Esports. He did get destroyed early.
I understand. I think it's fine.
A little bit.
Yeah. Definitely take Mikyx into consideration. Perkz was also very, very solid in this game. He didn't actually die until that fight that nearly lost them a game. So, like, very good performance. Much better compared to his old Kalista from back in the day. But honestly, really great game. Thank you so much, both those teams. First versus second, it definitely delivered.
Absolutely did. But for more on G2's win, let's head over to Frankie and their AD carry.
I have the absolute pleasure, Perkz, of revealing to you that with that win, you have secured your place as the #1 seed and you're going directly to Rotterdam. How does that feel?
It feels great. Yeah, I haven't been ranked 1 in regular season for 2 years now, I think. Yeah, it's been a very long time. So actually, solidifying us as a first place makes us kind of feel safe right now, right? And we get to have some like more relaxed time, but other teams are really sweating right now to make playoffs or make top 2, right? So we can like reset our mind and make sure that we go into playoffs fully prepared.
But were you a bit nervous about this match against Vitality? Because we knew it was going to be close and you didn't have the best day yesterday.
Well, yeah, our performance right now is not that great, honestly. Yeah, we kind of suck, but we did manage to like pick up our slack and actually win the game. Because I feel like yesterday we could have also won the game, but it was like a lot harder. And this game we had like at least some late game security, right? In like Camille and Rice. So making sure that we actually do win, even though we like suck in early game, is a good feeling, right? Because everyone says G2 sucks late game, they're so good early game. So now we suck early game, but yeah.
But the thing is, though, you say you were nervous going into this, but you went for that Kalista pick, and we were talking before we went live. That's very unusual for someone who's only been doing 3 months in the ADC shift.
Oh no, I'm not really nervous. I'm really confident every game I play. I feel like that my laning phase goes very smooth every time, and I kind of know what's gonna happen. Sometimes we don't have the most practice, and then I don't feel as confident. But today I felt really confident. We got what we wanted, and I even played against Vitality bottom yesterday in solo queue in like Lucian versus Kalista matchup, so I felt very confident into this game.
I really want to talk about the decision making there as well, because Vitality, they go for the 3rd Baron, they win it, and meanwhile, a couple of you guys are over in their base, securing the game. Who made that decision?
Well, it was Wunder and Caps, like both of them. They were just like discussing in game. It's like problem solving in game when the game is hard, and they said, well, let's just Vitality the Vitality, and then we Vitality the Vitality. Yeah, I was really triggered up within game because I almost lost the game alone, because I thought maybe I can sneak Drake, but they just went Nash and they got Nash, and then I thought they would end the game. So that was like a rough moment for me in the game, but at least my team salvaged it, and then we got the